Let's move on to something. You sent me an email, a picture, so I want to talk about this. You had mentioned in our third interview that the Bassano family had members working inside the Vatican. So, could you give us some more information about that and the Bassano family and what you gathered in general? And also, did the Bassanos actually plan to write plays all over Europe in various languages?
Well, these are good questions. The that I read somewhere, and I have many of these things in my mind, which unfortunately are not documented or well documented. I read that there were Bassanos that worked for the Vatican. I haven't been able to find the citation. I know you wanted to ask me, so I don't have it.
Mhm.
But my point, the reason I mentioned the Bassanos in the Vatican, I think is illustrated, to use an expression, better by Jacopo Bassano's painting of the Last Supper, and I sent a link to it.
Yes.
And if you look at the painting, you'll see immediately the humor in the Gospels manifested because there is a human kidney that is sitting on the table, and there is a piece of bread that has been shaped into a human face that one of the apostles is pointing directly at.
Mhm.
So I mean, Jacopo Bassano is aware of the cannibal humor regarding the Last Supper. I mean, this is, I think, if you look how clearly the piece of bread has been shaped into a human face, there's no really disputing this, and it's the only. I mean, the explanation, of course, is just that the painter is aware of the Flavian typology. So the painting is from like 1542. It was before Emilia Bassano was born. So this would be, the example of the Bassanos having, an understanding of the Flavian typology that they kept secret, right? Kept to themselves, probably for a number of reasons, but that they shared because obviously Emilia Bassano then was aware of the same thing that Jacopo Bassano was, and her cannibalism cryptic humor is exactly like what is being represented there in Jacopo Bassano's painting. And then in terms of the Bassano family producing literature, well, I'm not sure if the family per se, but certainly there was a class of Jewish intellectuals that shared this understanding. I mean, the Bassanos weren't the only one. Um, I mean, Don Quixote, Cervantes' work is actually, relating to the Flavian typology,
Really?
and there are many books that in our literature that are in fact show awareness of the Flavian typology in like the modern era. I mean, as an example, the what is it? The Big Lebowski is a representation of the Flavian
Really?
typology. Yeah, yeah, it's pretty straightforward. When he says that they're mocking the kind of the environment. They would mock the environment of whichever location. In this case, Los Angeles. And at the time they were, I guess, doing their research, there was this bumper sticker called "Jesus Lives."
Mhm.
It was, everywhere for a while in
Yeah.
Los Angeles, and so this is why the dude abides. It's their little, but they actually have Lebowski is in a Freemason temple with checkerboard squares, and he's you know dancing to kind of this Freemason tune,
Mhm.
and of course the identity. Um, the switching of identities is which is the Great Lebowski. This is relating to the kind of shell game that the Flavians played with, who's the real Jesus, and then of course they have the Trinity represented at least twice, once by Germans, and then by the three people who are Lebowski and his two cohorts. I mean, I saw the movie once and just
Uh-huh.
I could understand it fairly straightforward. There's a lot of this, the Coen brothers are just one example of, um, there's an awareness of the kind of the humor in the New Testament that Jewish intellectuals have, and
Hmm.
they keep to themselves.
Hmm.
They don't. There's a lot of reasons why it's better for them to not reveal it. It's in their interest to keep the religion going. For one thing, because they have so much control over it now with
Hmm.
Christian Zionism,
Yeah.
being such a powerful force, so that they don't really have a particular reason to make people aware of it. And so you can, there's just, as I said, there's just a lot of awareness of this, which is unfortunately they choose not to bring it out. When I brought when Caesar's Messiah first came out, um, yeah, I won't mention his name, but just someone who couldn't be more famous, in terms of show business, approached me about making a movie about it, and
Hmm.
it didn't occur. But I could tell in the kind of process that the individual was well aware of the kind of Flavian
Yeah.
typology. I didn't need to
Uh-huh.
and so what's happened. I mean, if you read the analysis I did called "The Freemason and the Rye," it's online.
Hmm.
You don't need to pay money for it. And I show that J.D. Salinger, with his book, is both sort of cryptically referencing Freemasonry and its initiation process, but he also shows awareness of the Flavian typology.
Hmm.
So a lot of people know about it, and they use it for, I mean, different purposes. It's really sort of, in a way, it's the same situation that existed in the feudal system. I mean, think about Christianity as being the premier mind control device of the feudal system, which is a slave system, which is, there's the patrician class, which created the literature and promotes the religion. And then there is the slave, right? I mean, all of Europe was enslaved with this system.
Yeah.
And Christianity was a mind control device. Well, over time, other groups basically superseded the Roman patrician class, but they certainly didn't want to get rid of Christianity because it was a way that they could create their own slave system.
Hmm.
So it was it's not, of course, the only way, but it was just they saw it as useful, and they certainly didn't see kind of the social upheaval and skepticism that would be engendered by bringing out the truth about the origin of the religion. And this is the fact about our world, is that we believe the historical narratives, right? We believe them,
Exactly. Hmm.
and it creates our mind and our kind of the Overton window, and so you've got you have Jesus, the Shakespeare, the Holocaust, 911. I mean, they're always giving you a narrative, and the individuals have very limited ability to criticize it, right? I mean, I mean, until the internet, it just everything was believed that we were told.
Hmm.
It was only with the internet that they started having the capacity for individuals to be able to do research.
Yes.
Uh, and this is what led to all of the skepticism concerning 911, which if you look at it from a certain perspective, is completely ludicrous, the narrative that was given us, but everyone believed it,
Hmm.
you know, when it was told. So this is the trick of the oligarch, is that they know they can control us through the presentation of histories, false histories that basically, shape our personalities in certain ways so that we are obedient. And and there it is. After Caesar's Messiah and then Shakespeare's Secret Messiah, I just stopped believing in everything. I mean, I didn't have, I just couldn't, whatever was presented as some powerful historical structure, particularly things that affect, our day-to-day existence. I really became skeptical of these things. And I started to do research into all of them and
Mhm.
found, well, it looks like we are still in the feudal system. It's just there's more narratives now than just the Jesus one.